It's 6:30 a.m. on this Monday. It's March 24th. I'm Michael Gargiulo.
I'm Darlene Rodriguez. Adelle Caballero is here looking at the commuter alerts this morning. And Storm Team 4's LaRosa has the weather. What's happening?
Well, you saw from some of that video, we have some rain coming down. It's a chilly rain, too. It just doesn't look all that pleasant to start a Monday, the first Monday of spring. And we're delaying that spring feel by a little bit. So be ready for that. And, some updates from this morning, which may be a sign of improvement. We've dropped some of the counties in the winter weather advisory. So Pike and Sullivan, you're out of it. Still technically in it for western Ulster County. So watch for some slick spots out there. Earlier, we had actually some snowfall. Right now, not much on the radar, rain or snow. Where we're seeing the greens, it's a light to moderate rain coming through the city right now, Long Island down the shore. It's a chilly one, too. 39 in the city now, Islip at 40. That's what we find in Bridgeport, close to that in Poughkeepsie and Trenton. So showers and periods of rain through the next few hours into the midday. By the afternoon, we start to taper off that chance. Temperatures get a chance to rebound with a little bit of sun before it sets back into the 50s later today. All right, 6:31, Adele. Hopefully everyone's taking it easy out there.
Yes, we want everyone to take it easy, give yourself plenty of extra time, and also be very careful, of course. Cross Island Parkway, northbound by exit 25B, Linden Boulevard. We've got an ongoing accident here, taking out a lane, a solid ride heading all the way back onto the Southern State Parkway. Whitestone Expressway, 2 lanes closed off here for debris on the road over by exit 14. Bumper to bumper heading across the span of the Whitestone Bridge. Stick to the Throgs Neck Bridge and the Clearview instead. And then the Major Deegan Expressway southbound by exit 8. This crash has been pushed off to the shoulder. Unfortunately, delays heading all the way back to 233rd Street still. Michael, back to you.
All right, Adele, thank you so much. We have breaking news coming from Brooklyn now. Right now, Monday morning, always the best time to get the kids ready for school.
Oh, yes. Just get them out of their warm, cozy beds at this hour where it's gray and rainy and chilly. So along with the rain boots, grab the jacket. Temperatures near 40 degrees right now. Still probably recess and lunch inside for sure. We've got mid-40s and still those showers before tapering off later in the afternoon. A much better school day weather coming up. We'll talk about how warm the temperatures get finally coming up in the 10-day forecast.
Thank you, Maria. Also ahead and
out to the rails, your A and C trains. We've got delays coming up in a few minutes. We've got another crash coming out of Queens. Let's take a live look out there right now, actually onto the Belt Parkway. Darlene, Michael, it's a solid ride into JFK Airport.
thanks so much. And you can now watch Today in New York at 7 a.m. Live local news continues wherever you stream News 4. We'll be back. Oh, it's 39 degrees here in the city. It's a little bit cool.
Yay. First Monday of spring. Yeah. It doesn't look like it, doesn't feel like it. I do have some better weather in the forecast, though, so we'll hang on. Just have to get through today, really. It's a pretty quiet weather week ahead, but it just paints the picture of how it feels. If I could say paint yucky and gross and uncomfortable, I would probably paint something close to that. Low clouds, rainfall, and temps in the 30s. 39 at Central Park right now, Massapequa, 38 in White Plains. Here's the good news. We had some of that wintry weather through parts of the Hudson Valley this morning, making things a little slick. That has moved on. So right now, again, we're all in it together with that chilly rainfall. On top of that, what's not making it feel great, we have a pretty brisk east-southeast wind. So those gusts 20 miles per hour, along with the damp conditions, that just is a combination, just does not feel great out there. As you can see, too, timing with today's rainfall, we'll continue to see periods of rain through later this morning into the midday and the early afternoon, tapering off later this afternoon and evening. So we'll actually try and get some peaks of sun in here before the day is done. And then we have another little bump up of a rain chance here overnight into a Wednesday early, but should be out for the most part and not looking at anything significant. But it is just enough to keep those temperatures in check for a little bit longer. As chilly as this will all feel, it's still pretty close to average. Average highs this time of year into the low, approaching the mid-50s. One of our warmer days coming Friday, and then again on Monday. Friday's coming with some sunshine. Monday may have some rain. But again, if you were inspired to looking around, starting to see things pop up in your garden, just keep in mind the average last freeze for Central Park. We're coming up on that date, March 29th, but for many spots, not until mid-April. Obviously, we have a way to go before you really want to get that gardening underway. So showers and chilly periods of rain through the next several hours into the midday. Once we get the drying and the sun to break out, that's our chance to get up into the 50s today, right about 51 degrees by 5 p.m., 43 overnight tonight. tonight. And tomorrow we'll see 55 degrees. Yes, a brisk west wind, but we'll hang on to that sunshine. Opening day, the home opener for the Yanks here Thursday, 52 degrees with some sunshine. We stay in the 50s, even with that rain chance again Sunday and into Monday. All right, 6:46 right now. Adele, what's going on?
We've got a lot going on, and of course, slick roadways making it more complicated to navigate around. Right now on the Cross Island Parkway northbound by 25B, we've got a crash taking out a lane. Delays heading all the way back to the Southern State Parkway right at about exit 25A. On top of that, somewhere in the middle of all of that, right by 15A, we've also got a crash off on the shoulder, but it is causing some rubbernecking delays. Whitestone Expressway southbound by exit 14, Linden Place. We do have a debris on the roadway actually here. One lane is still closed off with a solid ride heading across the span of the Whitestone Bridge. Stick to the Throgs Neck Bridge instead. Major Deegan Expressway southbound. That crash has been pushed off to the shoulder, but the damage is already done. We've got delays heading all the way back to 233rd Street. That's all for now. Back to you, Darlene and Michael.
All right, Adele, thanks so much.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for streaming with us. It is Monday, March 24th. I'm Darlene Rodriguez.
I'm Michael Gorgiou. Adelle Caballero is here tracking our commuter delays, and starting for us, LaRosa here. I'll take 2 orders of spring.
Yes, I will give you spring, but I've got to give a little dash of winter still out there. Yeah, it's chilly, it's rainy. We even had some snow showers that we were tracking earlier this morning. And if you're not seeing the showers, you've got a picture like this, pretty gray out there. But the bigger picture is showing this system here. There's the blue through upstate New York, pushing into New England, but we did have some of that through the Hudson Valley this morning. Right now, mainly green, lighter shades for now, but we'll see periods of rain, as we mentioned, now through midday at least. So you got to keep the heavier jacket and the umbrella handy for today, that's for sure. By 1 o'clock, 48 degrees with some rainfall and a brisk east wind, just kind of adding to that chill. And then once we see everything taper off later this morning, that's when we get a chance to break out into the 50s, if we're lucky, in the low 50s, right about 52 degrees through 5 p.m. with clearing skies and pretty quiet heading into the overnight as temperatures once again dip back into the low 40s in the city. All right, it has been a slow go for good reason. The weather not helping. Adele, what's the latest?
Yes, weather definitely not helping. We are still dealing with some slick roadways out there, and we are seeing the effects of it right now. Cross Island Parkway northbound by exit 25B. This has been out there pretty much almost all morning, really. A couple lanes closed off for this crash. Delays are back to the Southern State Parkway right by exit 25B, and right by 15B, you do have a crash there as well. It's been pushed off to the shoulder, but you've got rubbernecking delays through the area. Whitestone Expressway southbound right by exit 14, Linden Place. Right as you make it off of the bridge, you do have debris on the roadway taking out a lane. Solid ride heading across the span. Stick to the Throgs Neck Bridge and the Clearview Expressway instead. Michael, back to you.
All right, Adele, thank you so much. To be here by the calendar, but we're still waiting, right, Maria?
Yeah, it definitely feels that way this morning with temperatures in the 30s and that light rain from Livingston, Patterson, Yonkers, and Norwalk. You can see we're going to try and get to the 50s as early as 4 or 5 p.m. and drier conditions. And overall, a quiet week, keeping an eye on those early showers for Wednesday and then by the end of the weekend. So a little unsettled in the 10-day. I'll show you coming up.
Maria, thanks so much. Still to come, a popular.
Taking a look now onto the rails, your 4, 5, 6 C and F trains. You can expect to see service changes coming up in a few minutes. We're going to let you know what's going to slow you down on the roads now and for the day ahead. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll have all of that. You're watching Today New York.
This Monday morning, Maria LaRosa is looking at the weather. Not the best for the start of the week.
Yeah, Adele likes to say we've seen worse. That's absolutely true. But it's a pretty rough start in terms of just how it feels, how it looks. You know, you're ready for spring. We're ready for that to just get going, and we're being delayed a little bit here. As you can see, low clouds, and earlier this morning, even tracking a few snowflakes north of town here. Those have moved on, but we're still left with that low-level chill. We've got 39 in Sussex, 33 in Monticello, just 40 in Poughkeepsie, and what we're finding out there for the next hour or so on the lighter side. On top of that, this very brisk east-southeast wind that's always going to add a little extra chill, so it does not feel great out there. As far as the rain chances, we're looking at periods of rain through the morning hours and into the midday. Once we get to the afternoon, 2, 3 p.m., especially north and west, we start to dry out a bit, not quite clear out. We'll still be kind of stuck in the clouds. But by the time we get to 5, 6 p.m., now we're starting to see maybe a little more in that break in the overcast and getting some sun in here before the day is done. And then the next chance of precip that we see here late overnight into early on Wednesday, maybe enough for a few light showers to come on through. And yes, keep us on the chillier side. So we don't break out into the warmth. Not this week. You can see by the end of the week, now we're back above average. This time of year, average highs are right about 53, 54 degrees. Overall, though, looking ahead to April, yeah, I've got that sneak peek. And again, this is not a temperature contour, but more of a chance, a likelihood of seeing above average temperatures. And we have it for much of the country. So I think a little more consistent warmth here expected by the time we wrap up the month. In the meantime, though, pretty not pleasant. We've got 51 degrees by 5 p.m. with some sun trying to break out before the day is done. And then 43 degrees overnight tonight. It stays dry, a little breezy tomorrow, but 55 degrees. So when it's not gusty, that'll feel pretty nice. By the time we get to the weekend, Sunday and into Monday, another round of showers, but temperatures hold in the 50s. All right, 7:18. If you're streaming live with us, Adele, what's going on?
We've got a lot going on. Let's start things off here with a couple of reminders. First up, LIRR Ronkonkoma branch buses will continue to replace trains 7 a.m. until 6:30 p.m. for track work. Also, your Babylon branch through the overnight runs on a revised schedule. As we mentioned earlier, Morrison, Essex, specifically Morristown line, you've got a 50% off discount. Hackettstown, Mount Olive, Netcong, and Late Hopatcong, and Mount Arlington commuters will only pay the return trip. If you are heading out to the roads, as a reminder, 80 both ways remain shut down over by exit 34 with major backups. 46 and 10 are your ways around it. Darlene, Michael, back to you.
All right, Adele, thank you so much.